Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you our second analysis feature, compare groups, which helps you to spot trends across days in milk for various groups of cows. So you head to the Analyze tab up at the top, and then it's the middle icon here at the left, compare groups, you click that. So we'll start by adding the groups of cows we want to compare. So you hit add group to start. In this case, we're going to look at just comparing across lactation groups, but you can also look at different pens as well. So we're going to say, for the first group, we're going to look at first lactations. If you want to compare multiple lactations within a single group and average it out, you can do that as well. So if you wanted to group first and second lactations into one group, you can do that, but we're just going to stick with one lactation per group. So remember to hit the tick, and we'll do that for the remainder of the lactations. Okay, and we're going to choose the body condition score insight to look at. So here you can see, sort of similar to your milk curve, but for body condition. So we have days in milk along the bottom, and then body condition score you can see on the right hand side. And then each lactation is a different color of line. So you see the group 1 is your first lactation cows, and it's in blue, so you can see the line there. If you want to kind of quickly just zoom into one group, you can hide the rest. So I'm just going to focus on first lactations. Okay, so what this is doing, if I just hover over, say, 150 days in milk, you can see that's actually taking 150 plus or minus 15 days in milk on either side. And it's finding all cows who meet that criteria, and then it's averaging to get the line. If you want to make that bucket a little bit bigger, it will sort of smooth out the curve. So you can adjust that over here. So you can see if I make it bigger, more cows are being included in the average, and it starts to smooth out a little bit. Or if you go the other way, it starts to become a little bit more fine grained to give you a bit higher resolution detail. Let's just go back to the default of 15. Something else you can do here, if you want to look at the individual cows that are making up this line, you can hit here and then click BCS, and you can see the different dots of the different cows in here. So for example, you can see the average here is like close to, it's like 3.2, but some cows are actually a bit higher than that. So you could click on that cow and it will take you straight through to her profile page if you want to look in a little bit more detail. So I'll just switch that off. Okay, so for body condition, you usually also want to look at milk production as well. So I can overlay milk at the same time. So just down here under choose insight, we'll put milk on as well. And you can see it's shown in the same color, but it's got crosses instead of dots. So you can see first lactation cows in this farm starting to produce milk, peaking at around that kind of 60 days of milk. Then they actually have a little bit of a drop in milk while they're starting to put on weight. But then as their weight kind of flattens out, they start to milk a little bit better again. And then you can see towards the end of the lactation, producing less milk as expected, and they're drying off kind of around that close to a body condition score of 3. You can also compare this data to a time in the past. So maybe you've made a change, maybe you've changed the ration for your first lactation cows and you want to see how that's been affected. You can hit select date over here. So let's go back, say 1st of January. So the historical data is shown in a dashed line. So you can see back at start of January, cows were actually, your first lactation cows were calving, or sorry, drying off a bit heavier, so kind of closer to that 3.25 to 3.5 compared to today where they're drying off at around that 3 mark. So this data can just give you loads of insights into what's going on in your herd, can kind of help you make any nutrition decisions, or if you want to move cows into different groups, this can help. Again, I'll just switch back on the other lactations. You can see it starts to get a little bit messy the more data you have, so let's just take off the previous date. So here you can see how different groups of cows are comparing to each other. Even if you just wanted to look at milk, you can do that as well. But yeah, I'd recommend having a play around looking at your data. If you want any help analyzing the data or using this feature, please do reach out.